Gigguk just uploaded a new video titled I Want Nagatoro to Bully Me. If you guys aren't aware, this is based on the anime Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro. Pretty sure it's called that. But look, I'm not gonna lie, the anime is a bit sus in my opinion. So I haven't seen it. Like it's not for me basically. It's too fucking sus for me. But look, I'm gonna watch it. I love Gigguk and I'm gonna see if he can sell me on it. And maybe some of you guys are in the same position. Let's give it a watch.
This video is sponsored by Raycon.
You know what? You know what sucks? Bullying. Childhood and adolescence can be hard enough as it is, and no one deserves other shithead kids making their life even harder than it is. Whether it be getting the shit kicked out of you, getting ridiculed for the stuff you love, or, God forbid, being called Grant, it's just not a pleasant thing. According to StopBullying.gov, 20% of people aged 12 to 18 have experienced bullying in America. Bullying affects all youths, and its effects can be felt till adulthood, because you know what? That shit stays with you. It's an awful experience, and no kid ever deserves to be bullied. So, with that in mind, who the fuck actually wants to be
Don't toy with
Game
me,
Bully's
Nagatoro is
alright
one
if
of the
it's
most
by a
popular
fucking
this
anime
season.
bitch.
If you've been hanging around the weeb space recently, you've probably seen this face floating around. Perhaps
man.
you've seen it as a screenshot while scrolling down on your timeline.
I had to like search up like back before it fucking released, like because I kept seeing that fucking screenshot on places. I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? And then I got into the rabbit hole of like, this show's a piece of shit. It's gonna get cancelled and all that. But it's surprising to see. People are loving it. I don't think it's getting cancelled at all.
near the top anime being
I mean, it's good. Cancel culture's fucking awful.
watched right.
You've seen it as someone's profile picture. If it's not already your profile picture.
I feel like Nagatoro is that one show where people seem to have
You already
more
know
of an
Gigguk
opinion
has it
about
as
the
his
people
picture.
watching Nagatoro than Nagatoro itself. In between her face being the topical waifu profile picture of the month, and people losing their minds at one of the subtitles using some word that conveyed Nagatoro's feeling of
Sus.
mistrust towards another
Don't know how I
party or
fucking
something.
described it.
It kind of feels like publicly liking the show is the equivalent of being that guy who turns up at an anime convention wearing an Ahegao hoodie, using words like poggers in a normal sentence, like that's a socially acceptable thing people do in a functioning society.
But why are so many people getting so riled up about Nagatoro this season, and what is it about the girls teasing a flustered classmate that seems to be becoming the trend nowadays? Are those of us watching this doing so just because they have some masochism complex where they want some anime girl to step on them and call them trash?
He just summed himself up.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm here to find out.
Fucking
Because
long
surely there's more to this than meets the eye, right? So what's this all about? I will now begin the plot synopsis of Don't Toy With Me,
What
Nagatoro.
is the plot? As far as I'm aware, it's just, yeah, that they bully this dude. But I think she actually likes the dude, but she expresses it through just fucking torturing him.
Don't Toy With Me, Nagatoro follows this girl, Nagatoro, as she toys with her senpai. That concludes the plot synopsis of Don't Toy With Me, Nagatoro.
I don't know what I was
This is the
expecting
latest
more.
show in a new trend that's popping up called Dipshit Smug Girl mentally abuses senior classmate for the amusement of weebs worldwide. Or, I mean, I guess we could just call it the teasing genre. And most of these shows are just exactly that. Normally, it follows an unlikely duo between a talking anime profile picture and her
Senpai.
and the show takes us through various situations where the girl playfully teases her classmate of interest like they are still on the school playground. Except this time, those girls that bullied you as a kid are just secretly doing so because they like you and not because they're just cunts who picked on an easy target
Damn.
like that one time you got shamed in front of everyone just because you liked anime. Oh man, this guy.
That's what he gets for
The
playing
biggest
his
difference,
fucking
though, right
Naruto
off the bat
AMVs
between
out in
this and other
public.
shows like Teasing Master Takagi-san and Uzaki-chan is that, man, Nagatoro doesn't hold back. Like, okay, our main boy is a beta with a capital B. The man has a spine of a fucking jellyfish, and Nagatoro isn't afraid to remind him of that one bit. In episode 1, she bullies him, insults him, makes him cry. This ain't just your average teasing. This is full-on mind break, CIA interrogation, psychological warfare, just to let this guy know that he has small PP energy. I was honestly taken aback at how hard she went initially. There wasn't anything playful about it. It was just full-on mean-spirited. There were some moments that made me so uncomfortable for the guy that I actually think I physically took cringe damage. Thankfully, that was just episode 1 though, and as the series goes on, it transitions to something far less mean-spirited and more just playful teasing. But this start certainly doesn't help to diminish the image people have of this show and the people who watch it. See, there's just something about the setup and dynamics of the main leads that makes it feel like everyone knows who the series is targeted towards and what the main appeal is.
And that was definitely evident when I've read ahead in the manga, because I see this art, I see the premise, and I see these beautifully smug faces that perfectly catch the eye, and I remember immediately thinking one thing. Oh, this guy's definitely drawn porn.
Which, unsurprisingly, if you look further into it, oh, he has. And look, I know we're not allowed to say that this anime girl gets people horny anymore without the risk of getting arrested by the Twitter police, but I think a massive part of the initial appeal for anyone who's, partaken in the consumption of artistic drawings of the cultured nature is that this just radiates the same energy as a lot of doujinshis you've probably seen. And I feel like there are a bunch of shows that air nowadays that radiate that same energy. I can't put my finger on exactly what this is, because it's not as simple to say, hey...
Reminds me of the, what was it? The fucking author of High School of the Dead? It's someone to do. He made like board games or some shit. And then he calls up his mate who fucking like draws hentai. And he's like, yo, I've got an idea. Can you like fucking draw this shit for me? And so he calls up his boy that's just drawing hentai, and that's why, like, fucking, if you watch High School of the Dead, you can see that fucking, the man had experience in his fucking artwork.
This is just like every other ecchi fan service show, because it's not. But if I had to put it into words, it takes a very specific skill set to be able to create some of the mischievous facial expressions you see Nagatoro make. You see, some of the most well-known doujinshi artists have a certain talent at making unique and extreme facial expressions to complement some of the more intense moments of their doujins. Let's just say there are some very memorable faces out there, and sometimes you see that same
I don't know
energy
the levels to
radiating
this
from the
shit.
art and
Fucking
facial expressions,
his
even if the
doujin's got like
situations
fucking
aren't
levels to
exactly
them,
the
bro.
same as what you'd find in that other genre. I mean, look at this perfectly smug face. Look at these noodle arms. It's like that bitch from Itadaki Seiki had a Tan's baby with a bowl of cup ramen. Like, the exact moment that it confirmed it for me was during the beach chapter, where of course all the girls show up in swimsuits. Alright, okay, nothing too unusual here, just a normal beach episode, and then Nagatoro shows up and I'm just like, wait a minute. Are those tan lines? Oh, this motherfucker knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, come on, just look at this. The man even broke the cardinal sin and gave Nagatoro both flesh fangs and actual fangs. I don't know if he's trying to start a civil war or stop one, but he ain't losing either way. Combine this with the teasing, the almost masochistic dynamic at times shared between the two main leads, and this is very, very reminiscent to the dynamics in certain other places. And because of that, I can kind of see why so many of the crowd that partakes in the consumption of artistic drawings of the cultured nature seem to be the ones that were reading Nagatoro and other works similar to it. You can almost see the invisible tags of culture on the episodes, even if compared to other ecchi
His tan
manga and
lines,
anime
I
out
thought it was
there
piss
right now.
taking. His
This
tan
one's
lines like an
actually
actual
quite
fucking
tame
like
in comparison from a fan service
thing?
perspective.
You know,
like people
with
actually
all
wanna
this
search up
context in
tan lines?
mind, it kind of feels like...
I'm not dissing, I just
Don't
straight up
say
never
it.
fucking
You know,
knew.
it kind of
That's
feels
a
like...
genuine like
I know
fucking
what you're
fetish
thinking,
tan
don't
lines.
fucking say it.
It kind of feels like having that bratty little sister hentai dynamic without having to morally worry about the incest tag.
Oh, for fuck's sake, God, you just have to say it. Oh my God, and I feel like this is the main reason why Nagatoro and the shows like it have the image and reputation that they do. If you just watch the first episode, see the crowd circling in, know where the artist came from, you're probably like, alright, I know exactly who and what this is for. It's the Aigao hoodie wearing crowd. Probably has an anime profile picture, definitely watches hentai. Maybe it's that one guy who thinks shouting out Discord memes in public is funny, even if they weren't even funny on Discord. But reading further into the manga, there's something that just gets kinda drowned out in the general discussion that I haven't seen many people mention. Yo, this is awesome as fuck. That's right, this Nagatoro.
He got great ahead in the manga for this. I swear he never reads fucking manga. This is like fucking S tier for him.
Nagatoro is wholesome. And I'm not just talking about the obvious, well, you know, she's
Bro, he
really
hasn't
mean
even
to
read
him,
that
but
fucking
secretly
Attack
she
on
really
Titan
likes
manga.
him, ooh-woo-goo. Even if that is somewhat true. But there is genuine character and relationship development between the two. The biggest draw that kept me watching
the last
next
fucking manga he
episodes,
read
that kept
through
me
was
reading the
fucking
next
Domestic
chapter of the
Girlfriend.
manga wasn't to see what culture tag we'd be adding next, but because in between the teasing and the bullying, out of nowhere the show would just slap this really heartwarming moment you weren't expecting that would just make you go, God damn. That was adorable as fuck. And also, since it starts off being a very episodic virgin bullying of the week kind of show, I was honestly surprised when the manga started to introduce story arcs with an actual reoccurring plotline, which is when I actually started to get properly hooked into the manga. Recently, we've even been finding out a bit more about Nagatoro, and while it's no dramatic dark backstory, what it does do is give opportunities for our main boy Senpai. Wait, what the fuck is his actual name? Are you fucking kidding me? What it does do is give opportunities for our main boy to affect Nagatoro and vice versa. Honestly, my favorite parts of the manga is seeing how the both of them slowly change each other in a positive way. By hanging around Nagatoro, Naoto gradually gains confidence in himself, not only in his social situations, but his talents as well. And despite what she may appear like on the surface, the same happens for Nagatoro. Seeing the both of them playing off one another and motivating each other to change for the better.
Yeah, I like the sound of this. I really like that, but it just seems like it fucking comes in way later into the show.
Might not be the most original thing I've ever seen,
seems like this wouldn't even be adapted.
Wholesome as hell. I was surprised that genuine character development was happening in front of me, that before I knew it, I was invested. I don't know, there's just something about an unlikely duo helping one another and possibly developing feelings for each other that I just have a soft spot for, okay? Look, I love me some straightforward romantic wholesomeness like Horimiya, but sometimes I just need a little bit of that tension. You gotta tickle the balls just a little bit. I need a little bit of that spike.
Yeah, you can do both. It's like you watch a fucking rom-com some shit with like all the tension, and then fucking you watch enough of those and you just get pissed off. You go, just give me some straight up fucking no fucking playing around bullshit like some Golden Time or Horimiya. It's pretty much fucking whatever you've watched too much of. You get sick of one and you need the other. At least for me.
I'm just not gonna go there anymore. Unfortunately, pair a beta male afraid of his own shadow with a smart Cinderella who doesn't know how to come to terms with their own feelings, and what this means is, of course, that it takes fucking forever for any meaningful development to happen within their relationship. Normally, I'm against anime relationships that progress at a slower pace than Hawking radiation, but you know what? I'm here for it. I get it. I'll just live off that high of seeing that one blushing wholesome moment in between months of getting blue balls just, oh God, please just don't be teasing my heart and please give them a happy ending. You know, I think I finally get the teasing genre. These anime are basically just like edging, but for the soul.
God,
nah, fuck that.
In conclusion, despite how the series starts off, Nagatoro is a genuinely wholesome story about two unlikely characters affecting each other for the better. Yes, it may at first remind you of a lot of doujins you've seen, and it may have some fan servicey elements, but this isn't nearly as horny as I thought it was going to be. And the further I got, the more I just wanted to see the two of them be happy. I started for the smug, but I stayed for the smile.
I get far.
So yes, I like Nagatoro. Because of course I fucking do. I initially came into this ready to brush it off as just the new hot waifu profile picture of the month. You know what? I'll get some easy memes and views out of this, job done, let's move on. But I came out of this being like, what other bully manga are there out there? Maybe I'll read this one, or this one, or this one. That one looks good. Oh God, have I awoken something inside myself? Again? You know what? Why am I even trying to deny it anymore? I might as well just accept who I really am and take my place with the people I truly belong with. Poggers.
Fucking Gigguk the Pog Champ.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you again to Raycon for sponsoring me today. Look, if you've been...
Alright, yeah, look, it's not the top of my list. But hey, maybe one day I'll give it a check. It doesn't seem as bad as I thought it was. It does seem like it develops into something like with actual story substance. But hey man, at least for now, I'll stick to my fucking Attack on Titans and ReZeros. But hey, hope you guys enjoyed the video.